Well, hello, it's Romania Black, and we are on our third installment of the Patreon commissions for the month of February. And this one is coming from Sean, right back from 1995. We are looking at a Satoshi Kon film anthology. Memories! All I can think of is cats. It's so easy to leave me. All alone in the memories. That's all the singing you're getting from me today. So we are looking at Memories, which is a series, I believe, of three shorts, three films that are combined together. It's giving me Digimon the movie vibes from 2000, and I'm okay with that. But yeah, so we're looking at all these. Now, I've had people recommend how to view this. Some people were like, oh, you need to watch one at a time and discuss one at a time. And I'm not opposed to that, but I think for the sake of editing, for the sake of reacting, for the sake of everything, what I want to do is, as my dog is unforgiving with his toy, I think what I want to do is I want to watch the whole thing in full. It's 2 hours. It's 2 hours long, which is crazy. But I kind of want to watch the whole thing and then go back and discuss each one at a time and then have timestamps for each of the discussions. And kind of, I want to watch them all together because I want to see if they flow together, if there are connections made, so that when we go back and do the discussions, I can talk about, well, this one is like this one's like this one, or see the connections between the three of them because they are tied together. So we're going to watch the whole thing in full, and then there will be timestamps down below for each of the discussions of each of the three shorts as it would be, and we'll go through that. So that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, so I want to give a special shout out over to Patreon. Thank you all so much for commissioning these. February's been an amazing month of commissions. The first two earlier this month, you can go to my channel and check those out. They were wonderful, and they were very modern, like new releases. And then this one is like, we're going back to 1995. We're going back 30 years ago. I don't like that. I don't like thinking 1995 and 30 years ago. I don't like thinking that at all. No. So, anyway. So, but what can we do? So yeah. So, as per usual down below, I will have a link to the PIP reaction. I will also be doing, just doing headphones, doing no audio, subtitles on this. Y'all know how this goes. You're used to my channel by now. We have to do this because YouTube is the way that it is. But there is a link to at least the picture so you can see that. But you're going to have to sync up the audio. You're going to have to do the bare minimum to watch free content. That's what you get. So yes. But other than that, I want to make sure that I have the right audio track. Japanese, got the right audio. Of course, I usually watch with the subs. Yep, we got this. Awesome. So also a special shout out to Sunspots, who helped me to get the file for this movie. I really appreciate that. So thank you very much, because I could find Memories, but it was only in the dub, and I like watching the original Japanese sub. That's just my deal. So anyway, we're going to get started watching Memories by Satoshi Kon. Oh, y'all know I'm excited. And we're going to get down to business here in 3, 2, 1, and let's begin. Ooh. I am a big fan of Satoshi Kon films. I think he's amazing. Oh, come on. Come on. Ooh. This feels very 90s. Memories. I'm excited to go through each one individually, but to watch them all together and see how they connect. Memory is such an intense thing for me, and I value it so much that I'm like, okay, what are we going to get? I'm also like double fisting. I have coffee and tea today. So if you see 2 different mugs, your memory is not wrong. In a galaxy far, far away. Oh, ooh. Oh. Heinz. God, this animation already. God, this animation. Oh, they don't do it like this anymore. Like, that was just something so little. It was on the screen for like, wow. For a hot second. Episode 1, Magnetic Rose. Her memories. Ooh. Koji Morimoto. My Corona. Ooh, getting Cowboy Bebop vibes with the soundtrack already. All right, Magnetic Rose. God, it's gorgeous. Oh, wow. Mmm. It always starts with going somewhere you're not supposed to. Uh-huh. Uh. Come on, Ivanov, just this once. What's the worst that could happen? Oh, I love it. I like the mom tattoo. Or maybe this is like the one time he should have gone to the asteroid. Glad to see the workforce mentality hasn't changed in 30 years. Glad to see it. We are trash collectors. Uh-huh. Oh, wow. There aren't any more out there. Oh, wow. Oh, those eyes. He's so intense. Are you collecting all these photos of nude women? He's giving me, oh, what's his face from Berserk? Being stuck out here. I don't know any that would fall for him at this point. But him, on the other hand, of course he would. Of course he would. Hmm. Oh, well, shit. Should have gone after the asteroid belt, apparently. What is this? I can't wait to go back and discuss like all these dynamics and everything. Especially Heinz. Heinz is interesting. Ooh. Madame Butterfly. Uh. uh. Yeah. Okay, he does seem like a little bit more military. Mm-mm. I love the anatomy and like how everyone's like flying through the anti-gravity. The graveyard of space. Interesting. Okay, well, Magnetic Rose. Oh. Yeah, I don't know if I'd do that. Oh, well, that's a good point. Man, the one time they don't take the mission that sounds suspicious and it leads to something that sounds suspicious. Eat my words. God, I love the soundtrack. The animation alone is just mesmerizing. I cannot get over it. And then the 90s, yeah, just the over all the details, all the tiny details. If we could haul it back. Oh, wow. Yeah. What is it? Is it a rose? It does kind of look like a flower. I thought rose would be a person, like memories that they got from like a data box or something. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh. Yeah. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. If there was already pirates aboard there and they're just like at each other, hacking into each other. Ooh, okay. I love the operatic music. It's so good. Try knocking. Oh my gosh. Lab. Oh. Like all the static you can hear and everything. Oh. Oh, wow. Oh, and his kid. Okay. Wow. 2092. Wow, I love that. That little detail. God, it's gorgeous. All those little details. AI could never. Supposedly. Oh, wow. Right, yeah. I'm glad he's keeping track of it. Oh shit, what is this? Ooh. Oh, wow. Uh, uh, oh, shit. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, oof. That was tense. The lady or the tiger? Oh, oh. This feels like finding the Titanic. It looks like the Titanic. Or a nightmare. Ooh. It's interesting choice of decorum. This also reminds me of Interview with the Vampire. I'm like, are they going to sacrifice y'all here? The red marble does look a little sinister now that you're in it. It's giving me like the balcony for Interview with the Vampire where they watch like the French opera. I don't know. The star on the ballroom floor. The red kind of gothic marble. Oh, wow. Magnetic rose. What a babe! Oh, really? Hey, whoa, 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 where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Why is there an outside? Why is there an outside? How is all that possible? This is a bit creepy. Space vampires. Oh, and you can see the blood where he's like was crushed by the. Oh, you can see the blood where he was crushed by the machinery. Oh, oh shit. Okay, so it's a hologram. What's actually there instead of the hologram? That's creepy. Ha! They were using the phrase ghosting you back in the 90s? Shit! Oh, buddy. What if the madame's really old now? Huh. Yeah, are you going to... I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd take my helmet off. What if she's a ghost? Yeah. What if it's all like the ship keeps on functioning even though she's dead? Yeah, no joke. Yeah. It's not been used in a while. Yeah, don't. Yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah. There's gonna be like a corpse. There's gonna be a corpse in one of these bedrooms. I just know it. Or maybe it's from like, maybe she's dying and she's old. God, this is crazy. Oh, bitch. That's creepy, Satoshi Kon. It's gonna fall off. That's creepy, and it kind of looks like his kid. That's creepy. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. Because they're all ancient. There's no telling how long that's been there. Uh-huh. Oh, wow. Hmm. Oh, wow. All of her trophies. Wow. So she's an opera singer. Yeah, if she's still alive. Oh, wow. 2031, that's 60 years ago. She could technically still be alive. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Oh, shit. It's The Shining. Oh, shit. Oh, buddy. No, no, no. Oh, buddy. No, no, no. Get the hell out of there, Miguel. Nah, hell no. Oh. A ghost. Well, I'm glad you at least acknowledge that such things could be. 2005. Oh, ah! Oh, fudge, no! Oh, no! Oh, shit! Is she gonna trap him here in the ship? Let's not split up! That sounds like a terrible idea! Oh, hell no. Miguel's gonna become part of the ship. He ain't gonna be able to leave. The SOS is to lure people there. Oh, bitch. Oh, bitch. No. Nope, nope, nope. Nope, nope, nope. There are some Twilight Zone vibes. There's the Shining vibes. Oh, the mirror. Oh. Oh my God. Oh shit. Uh-huh. Huh. Hmm. A star tenor. Carlo. Mm. Yeah, how did this happen? Oh, wow. Oh, I love that shot of the angels. Mm. Mm. Ooh. Huh. What? Guess what happened right before their wedding? Oh, that looks like a man being hung. Oh my God. Oh. Wow. Careful, dude. I love this ship is like halfway hollowed out and halfway crap. Oh no. Oh. It's crazy part of the ship is in perfect condition and part of the ship is like just decimated. Oh crap. Well, that's how it starts. That's how it starts. The Alice in Wonderland treatment. Oh wow. Where'd your gun go? I mean, technically the oil could be making the piano keys work, but it also looks like a ghost. Oh, bitch. He gonna get trapped down in here. Whoo! Oh, buddy. Oh, I want Heinz to get out of there because I don't think Miguel is. She was waiting for a random man of Hispanic origin to come and find her. Oh. Oh, shit. Heinz, get out of there! Oh, my God! Oh, creepy! So creepy! Oh, my God. Don't get near her. Oh, my God! Oh, my God. Oh. 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 Uh. Hmm. Mm. There should be something bad happen. I can just sense it. Oh, wow. Holy shit. Oh. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God he's okay. That's so creepy! Oh my God. What's with the doll? Yeah, I'm glad they can see that. Oh my God. But he didn't do the daughter. No. Oh. Macfield's a bitch. Get out of there. Well, I don't know about that. Oh, wow. What are all the blinking lights? Oh, my God. Yeah, no joke. Oh, my God. Some angels. Oh, my God. There he goes after another woman. Oh my God. I'm not sure which one to rescue. Oh my God. Oh my God. At least he didn't want to leave him behind. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh wow. Oh my God. Oh. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh my God. Oh, they're not getting out. The pod's destroyed. Oh no! Oh my God. Oh. 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 Oh wow. Is this gonna tie back to him and his kid? Oh wow. Oh. Well. Oh. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Oh wow. And the weather vane almost looks like a cross at the top. Oh my God. Oh shit. Oh. Oh my God. Oh. Oh. What about his actual wife? Oh, I love the shadows, the lighting. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. With her like the doll. That's so creepy. That's so creepy. Oh my God. Oh. Oh wow. So she did die in the real. Screw his wife. Creepy, this woman. Oh wow. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, look at your wife. Your wife, my dude. Uh Oh. Oh. I didn't think they'd actually show it. Oh. Oh my gosh. His voice acting. I love the tide of memories because I want to talk about this in discussion about his memories. Oh. 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 Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh my God! Go Hines! Get out of there, Hines! How are they gonna get out? Oh. Oh. Bitch, you need to get out of there. It's always down to the damn computer. Oh my God. And her Glinda bubble and everything. There's definitely something to be said about like uploading yourself into an interface and why this is problematic. Oh my God. Ugh. 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 Oh. Damn. Damn. Get the helmet on, my dude! Oh, there's like other skeletons there. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes. Oh, Heinz. Heinz. Oh. Oh my god. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh. Justice for Heinz. Oh. Oh. Oh, bitch, that was so good. Ah, damn. Justice for Heinz. Justice for Mother Truckin' Heinz. Ugh. Maybe he's not dead. I mean. I mean. I mean. Damn, that one lasted longer than I thought it was gonna be. So this is part 2. Yamanashi. Yamanashi. Oh, or I thought we were going back to Heinz's house. It's Click. I like the guy like tapping his leg. Oh no, let's not see that. I'm that guy. I'm that man, always. Oh, nope, let's not look at that. I don't want to see that. Kawasaki, okay. I'm that man all the time. Everybody's got cold. Oh, look, back in the 90s, they were wearing masks. Although he's wearing it. Is he wearing it over his nose? Because otherwise it defeats the purpose. I don't know. At that point. Come on, 90s. Come on, 90s beats. Are we about to watch Cool Runnings? Stink Bomb! Tensai Okamura, the stinkiest weapon. Interesting. She's like, oh, being inconsiderate when you have a fever and contagious? Thanks. Gee, thanks. Son of a bitch. If you have a fever, don't go to work. Hast thou learned nothing, especially in a lab with lots of chemicals and shit. This man's gonna start COVID 15 years before it happened. Go home! Oh my God, you're gonna get everybody sick, you jerk. You didn't even let it take effect. Oh my God. This man's patient zero. The blue pills in the red bottle seems like a Matrix conundrum. Ew, go home. Ew, go home, you slob. This is not me. This man is not me. He's gonna cause everybody to get sick. Oh, all them boxes. All them boxes. Yeah. No, he said blue pills in the red bottle. No, he said blue pills in the red bottle. No, oh my God. He said blue pills in the red bottle. I would read what the damn bottle says, you mother trucker. No, read the wow. Wow. Of course, talking about memories. Oh. Oh. Mm. Oh. Not the right meds. Not the right meds. I love that these seem like Twilight Zone episodes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Everybody's like, well, what was it then? Maybe you shouldn't smell it. Maybe that's a bad thing. Oh my God. I do like how memory is already an effect in this because it's like literally his memory of not remembering the right bottle. Well, I'm glad you're doing fine. But did you just sleep there all night? Yeah, no joke. Oh, shit. Did he kill everybody? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh shit. Are they all dead? Oh my God, they're all dead. Don't be sniffing stuff. What about the boss? Oh my God, he's literally patient zero. Is the boss dead too? Oh my God, he is. Why'd he turn the alarm off? Oh! Oh my God. He did. Oh my God. Everyone. Or something. Unconscious or dead? Oh my God. There's a biohazard. Okay. Oh. Oh my. Oh my God. Oh my God. For the government, of course. Oh my God. This is just chaos. No. No. Does he even know which medicine? Oh my God. He's a walking disaster. Oh wow. S-bomb. No. Oh, a disaster! He's a walking disaster! Oh you idiot! This man makes me so intensely anxious. Oh my God. Oh shit! What is he radiating? Oh. Ooh. Because I'm presuming that they are not in bloom at the same time normally. Oh my God. What have we done, sir? This has such Twilight Zone vibes. Oh, wow. Oh shit, is everybody dead? Oh my God, how did this happen? What is this? What is this? Is it like a bomb with a radius? I'd be getting some gas masks on if I were you bitches. I'd be wearing some damn gas masks around this, especially if you know what the medicine is. Oh, of course, the bottom basement is always the most intense. Oh, the coughing and everything. No. For something that came out 15 years before COVID, this is, or 20 years before COVID, it's very creepy. Or 25 years before COVID, actually. It's creepy. Man, that man has a giant body and a tiny head. Of course this is Big Pharma's fault. Oh. Maybe they're not all dead. Maybe it's just a stink bomb so huge that it just makes people pass out. Oh. Extreme pollen. Oh, damn. Well, no, some of them look dead. Hell in full bloom is such a line. Wow. He's like, help! No! Patient zero! Yeah, well! And we'll get some awards. It's for the fame primarily, but you're gonna die. Oh, he gonna die. He just stepped on. you tumble down the stairs? Oh my God. Yeah, it's from proximity to him. Oh my God. A bioweapon countermeasure. So. Oh, yeah. No, 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 not a weapon, just a counter to the weapon that is somewhat of a weapon. Oh. Mm. Well, pretty potent. Pretty potent, actually. About that. Oh. And he's the only one not affected. Is he not affected because he took the medicine? Or. So is this actually not his fault? Holy shit, this is COVID. Oh, you're just letting him come right in and kill all of you. What do you mean? Yeah, he's patient zero. Yeah, no shit. Oh, this man! Oh, this man! No, you won't get out! Oh my God. Ooh, that smell. Can't you smell that smell? Doo doo. The smell of death surrounds you. Yeah, literally. At least they're are they afraid of the cloud? At least their solution was to run away and not kill him, which is what, if we were in the US, that would be the solution that we proposed first. Damn. Oh my God. Holy shit. Okay, dude, you have to realize by now you are the common denominator. You have to realize. And the more he sweats, I wonder if the more, yeah, the smell, like the more he sweats, the more the smell pervades. Oh, wow. So the smell follows him. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, are these his grandparents? What have you done? What have you? I love they instantly know he's the cause of this. Yes, you are correct. I like this one guy's like, you gonna kill him? Oh, yeah, some discrepancies. I like the guy's just patting his head. Uh-huh. Yeah, he took it. He sure did. Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh, that should be easy as he's killing everyone. Dude. My dude. Oh. Let's not be pointing fingers now. I love that every like major Japanese figure in charge. Oh, this man, Idris Elba is not having it. I love that every like older Japanese figure in power has like the biggest forehead imaginable. It's almost a caricature. Put him in a glass box. Put him in a glass box, I guess. Oh my god, what a bitchin'. That's insane. Oh. Wow. He's gonna kill half the country. Oh. Oh. Oh my god. Oh, bitch. Oh. Glad you got Stormtrooper aim. Oh. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh shit. Oh my god. This man owns the sturdiest bicycle in the world. Are they getting promotion from this? Better be some paid promotion for this little motorbike. Dude, you got like the 5 stars in GTA is what you've gotten. Oh my god. Oh my god. This man, his luck is insane. Oh my god. Mm-mm. I'm excited to talk about all three of these in comparison with one another. So they all should be about 45 minutes long. That would probably equate correctly. Oh my gosh. I. Oh wow. I do like the explanation that the military is not able to do their job because the gas is making it hard to do. Oh shit, well. All because this man couldn't remember correctly. All because his memories were incorrect. Oh my god. Check the damn label before y'all take any medicine. Oh my god. This man's just trying to do his 9 to 5. When Gen Z complains about the job market, this is what millennials are talking about. Back in my day, even when we were harboring a bioweapon, we still made it to Tokyo on time. God, you could parody so much with this. You really could. Oh my god. Ah! This is straight up a Twilight Zone episode, and I'm kind of here for it. Also, like, the most zombie apocalypse. Oh, but Granny's like, get out! Everybody just go! This is insanity. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. This one idiot has caused all of this. Oh my god. And now it's down to Idris Elba and them. Oh my god. I mean, is that all you cared about? Let's roll out. It's so weird hearing English in a Japanese sub. Or was this planned all along? Idris Elba doing the glasses thing. Idris Elba, what we doing? What we doing? Oh my god. Wait, is he with the US? Oh, of course. Of course we're to blame. What? That seems... Yeah, that seems like it's, you're assuming a lot there. We can't let the US get a hold of him. God, I miss 90s animation so much. I love it so much. Find out the brand of this motorbike and market it. How this man is alive is a mystery. Yeah. That'll do it. Sir, do you know what you've done? Oh, I wonder if his metabolism, like with the bomb and everything, is making him hungry all the time. Oh, shit! Oh, wow. To try to get it all out. To try to blast it all away. Interesting. Are they trying to freeze him? Okay. Ha! Nobody told me about this! No one got the memo. Idris Elba doesn't send memos. He just shows up. Ha! Bye! Oh, they're flinging liquid nitrogen at him. Oh my god. Oh wow. Electrical discharge inside the... Oh my god. Fine! Fine! Go on! I'm just trying to get to my job. The Krusty Krab pizza is the pizza for you and me. That's what the vibes are giving. Wow, this feels like The Thing, kind of. Oh, wow. This is wild. Of course it's the US! Us, metal, win! Oh my god. Oh, they go take you out like the claw. The claw. Oh no, it's a damn taser. That's a cattle prod, actually. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, this does not bode well. Oh my god. I love the pacing and the animation of it. That's great. No. That's such a good animation too. Did they give him a Snickers? Did they knock him out? What is that? What'd they do? The Yanks, the Yankees, the skunk. Where did he go? Oh, we just saw his jacket. Oh my God. All that gas. The cigarettes! Somehow. Y'all caused this mess. Y'all caused this mess. With the tiniest of briefcases. This feels very Neon Genesis. Congratulations! Don't do it! Oh my God. Oh my God. No! Oh my God! Oh my gosh. How'd he get in the suit? Did the one guy just get out for him? Oh my God. Oh my God. Ooh, this must be the third one. This one's not as long. It's only about 35 minutes. The animation style looks a little different too. Kind of. Who are you, little troll? Aw. Oh. Huh. Oh, wow. The industrialism of it all. Cannon fodder. City of Cannons. Katsuhiro Otomo. It feels very like industrial wartime with the helmets that they have to wear and the military style of it all. Oh, wow. Very post-apocalyptic. Love the steampunk. Love the steampunk. Huh. A music helmet. Why was banned at the PTA? Mmm. Ah. Oh. Uh, he looks like the. Ooh. He looks like the demolitions expert from Atlantis, the movie. Uh. Hmm. I love the animation style. It's kind of weird, but I like it. It's different. Like they all just look dead inside, which post-apocalyptic. Oh wow. Holy shit. That all the turrets, that's crazy. Ooh, this like weaponized state. Cannon number 17. Oh wow. Ooh. I like that nothing has a name, it's just numbers. Everything is just numbers, showing there's no like meaning behind it or significance. It's just a number. You're just a number going to a number. Meanwhile, our precocious little wartime child. Cassini's? Oh, am I getting like a that gives off kind of a what if World War II never ended vibe sort of thing, you know? Oh, the red cannon, that red color. City of Cannons. Yeah. I know the language and stuff is not, it's all made up, but there is kind of like a, oh wow. And the trains, 5, 6, 7. Yeah! Getting like a World War II vibe from all this. Slightly. KO, KO. Oh, wow. All the propaganda. That's on the nose. That's on the nose. Oh, wow. V for victory. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, the propaganda's real on the nose. Oh, that was a good transition. Oh, damn, I wouldn't blame you for not paying attention for signing the cosine. Oh, wow. Holy shit. And using the education as propaganda to like indoctrinate to talk about it being used for war. God, this is on the nose. It's also eerily relatable. Oh my God, no. And he just wants to listen to music and do the arts. This kid. Ah. That red cannon is so symbolic. Number 17. And that's where his dad works, I'm presuming. Damn. Uh-huh. Again, everything's numbers. There's no humanity to it. There's no personality to it. It's just do the numbers, do the thing. Oh. Wow. Oh, the 90s when humans did things and it wasn't all automated. Also, there's like this idea of collective of collective coercion and violence that's through this, because they're all part of the process of causing what's happening, right? But it's part of their job and well-being. So there is this interesting layer of coercion, but it's like almost like you have to do it or you can't survive. And the weight of that, the weight of it, and they're treating it like it's so normal. There's also kind of something like, talk about sex and violence, something like kind of, I mean, it's a penetrative act, and it's, I don't know. Oh my gosh. And you can't even see where it's firing. Like, that's the thing. There's no target. There's no humanity. It's just fire it. You don't even see what they're aiming at. And nobody's talking about what they're aiming at. It's just this blind, like, we have to do it for victory. There's no, like, the enemy isn't even seen at this point. Crazy. So much to talk about. Mm. The steampunk of it all. Oh my gosh. Whew. I love just everything is all red. It's just that color spotting in this like gray mute world. Oh, it's crazy. Oh my gosh. And they did all that work to set up and now they have to get away. And then here comes this one guy. Or no. Who be this? Yeah, what? You had everybody leave and then this guy comes? With the cape? But why? Uh, he has a villainous mustache, so... Oh. Oh, so all these workers and everything take position and get it all ready, and then he's going to take the glory because they like, yeah, all these workers. all these workers did all the work to get it to be ready to fire, and this one guy's gonna take the glory of the shot, because that never happens in real life. Or maybe, yeah, he's gonna fire it. But it said there was a shockwave, so is he gonna... What a creepy expression. Yeah. Yeah, he took the credit for it. All that decorum. Oh, wow. As they're making the shells. Oh, and she doesn't want to do it. Well, that's on the nose. Literally. Literally. No conquest without labor. Wow. Oh, wow. Stop the poison gas. Oh, the gunpowder's not the problem. The gunpowder is the problem. The gunpowder is the problem. Not the fact that we're using the gunpowder, but just the condition of the gunpowder. The quality of the gunpowder is the problem. Wow, there's so much to talk about. Oh, wow. I thought it was a sea of blood, but it's just a wasteland. At this point, is there even any enemy, to be honest? Is there any at all? If we like pan out and there's nothing left and it's just this state of destruction. Oh, wow. And the bread and the little soup. Oh, there's the music helmet. Oh, but they're illegal. Because it's outlawed to have anything like that. Oh my. Uh-huh, meaning she gets around. Yeah, she's been with other men. Oh. I want to see what they're fighting and for it to be nothing. I want all of this to be for nothing. Is what I anticipate. Oh shit. Oh. Oh. You must have forgotten to check something. Clearly, it's your fault. Damn. Looks also like Desmond's dad, or Desmond from Spy Family. Damien's dad. Yeah, the decorum of this one man firing on behalf of all the workers is so like Ridiculous. Mm, mm. Oh, wow. Because now you have to, like, sit there and face the shock of it all. Oh. Oh. Wow. Such a tall city. And then, yeah, down the floor. Like, even the cannons and turrets on, like, the house. At the bottom of the barrel. Mm. It's like, we don't even know, like, what it was successful. It just says how much was fired. Yeah, it doesn't matter who was targeted or if it was successful. It's just, here's how much we did. Moving city. So it's a moving city? Interesting. Come soon, but how long have they been firing? And all the books are on guns, too. Ooh. The Cannon family, wow. Damn. Man, the dad just looks so harrowed. Yeah, there we go. That there is, it doesn't matter who you're fighting. Doesn't matter. That's what you'll understand. Hmm. Hmm. The fact they have the big portrait of the man in their house feels propaganda-y. Oh. And the blue cannon. Huh. The fact that the dad can't tell him who they're fighting because it doesn't matter is so telling. Hmm. Wow. And then the cannon number 17. Like, it's just endless. It's just endless. It never ends. Oh, ooh. Ooh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. What does the plate say? The one who fires the gun. Oh, wow. Oh, the little clock on the bed. Hmm. Even the bedposts were like shells. Hmm. To sleep through all of that. Oh. Oh! Oh, was that it? Was that it? Oh, bitch, what? Oh. Oh my God. Okay, Magnetic Rose. Damn. Damn. I was trying to say, as if I would know. Okay, screenplay and layout is Satoshi Kon, but Otomo and Morimoto. That one was I think the first or the last one are my favorites. I'd have to go back. We're going to talk about in the discussion. The first or the last one. The last one may be my favorite because of its significance. But I think the first one had my favorite animation. The first one definitely had my favorite animation. Like that 90s. Oh, and the vibes. Oh, and the creepiness, the tone. I definitely think in terms of the overall aesthetic and atmosphere, the first one's my favorite. In terms of the theme and messaging, the third one is my favorite. And then the second one is an episode of The Twilight Zone. The third one is a Twilight Zone episode that like was the brief levity before the insane themes of the last one. Holy shit. The idea of CGI assistance is so crazy. What a time. What a time. Shizuo Kurahashi, amazing sound. Amazing. The soprano of Kaoru Nishino, amazing. Oh, Studio 4C! Okay! Okay, come on, Mind Games. Come on, animation of 4C. Get it. Oh, wow. Is there any... I'm guessing this is the English cast. Stephanie Shat, yeah. Does a lot of ADR for English dub. Interesting. Digital restoration, interesting. Okay, Stink Bomb. Stink Bomb being by, oh my gosh. Oh, Hideaki Ono. Oh, hello, Hideaki Ono. Hi, how you doing? Okay. Katsuhiro Otomo did the story. And I don't know if Satoshi Kon had anything to do with this one particularly. Doesn't seem to be. Satoshi Kon just had the initial one with the screenplay. Okay. I mean, the animation was really good for the second one. Let's see. Oh, Studio Pierrot. Okay. Come on, Studio Pierrot. The painting. Yeah, nice. The idea of painting support in a movie. Cats! Special effects, director of photography. Madhouse. Okay, Madhouse getting in it. Nice. There was a good soundtrack in that one as well. All of the sound. Like, oh wow, they had like legit musicians for this. Nice. Madhouse. Okay, Madhouse did good on that. I liked that. Oh, Stephen Fu. Okay. I could see that. All the additional... I'm trying to see if there's any English dub actors, but this is from the 90s, so what a time. Amberly Connors. Okay. And then Cannon Fodder. Damn. Cannon Fodder is... Whew. Like, come on. A lot of these are older voice actors. Katsuhiro Otomo. Hidekazu Ohara. Okay. So yeah, Satoshi Kon only really had involvement in the first one, but kind of combined all these together, so I'm assuming. The animation aesthetic was interesting, very much. Yeah, you could tell there was some painting, like, on the cells. Really nice. Special effects. Studio Gallop. Oh, Ghibli! Okay, Ghibli support. All right. Okay. I could see that. This end credit song. Okay, 4C did that too. Yeah, with Mind Games, I could see that. Okay. Okay. That one was so just understated in the best way possible. Memories. I can't wait to talk about all three of these. Yes. In your memory. Hell yeah. Oh my gosh. What a ride. What a ride. Holy cow. Come on, Josiah University. Apple Computer. What a time. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And that's it. Ha. What a wild ride. Wow. Okay. Okay. I feel like bringing Whiteboard Coon out to talk about these three shorts is a pretty understandable, right? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Sean. Oh, Sean, the commission was amazing. Thank you so much. So I did a little bit of digging just to basically find some information about Memories out before we start. It's not actually a Satoshi Kon entire production, as you all are probably furiously typing in the comment section down below, but only one short of the three was actually did a screenplay by Satoshi Kon, which is Magnetic Rose, which I read in the Wikipedia article was talking about the critical reception of all three, and in the end credits of this I talked about like which studios did them and who all was involved, the voice actors. There aren't any voice actors I think are immediate like current voice actors. You all can probably comment that down below. I feel like most of them are like 80s and 90s voice actors. Whether or not they still perform or not, you all can tell me down below about that. I'd love to know. But the critical reception was that the very first one, Magnetic Rose, was the best out of the three. Which, here's the thing, they are all subjective. We're going to talk about all three. We're going to talk about connections between all three, especially how memory is involved, but I feel like, especially memory, because memory is in fact enveloped into all three of them. But in terms of as a whole, I feel it's kind of subjective. I feel like I definitely think, and I agree with the critical reception. The critical reception was that the second one is the most humorous, the most levity, especially compared to the third. Dear God, there's no levity in the third. The third film is devoid of levity. It is as dry and serious and horrifying as it ever could be. The first one I think is a nice. I think the first one blends the horror, the comedy, the satire, and the surreal the best. I feel like the third one hit me the hardest out of all three. It really did, because then you're just sitting there like, oh crap. The third one is the most relatable, I think, especially in the time that I'm living in. The first one is my favorite just because of, I think the first one feels the most fleshed out of the three, in my opinion. I don't know. The last one is the shortest. The third film is the shortest. And it's kind of interesting because it's kind of a Goldilocks effect. So we might as well just talk about it. But I feel like we have Magnetic Rose, which we're going to put up here. Magnetic Rose is so freaking good. Oh my God, it's so good. And then we had Stink Bomb, which we will put here. Old Stink Bomb. That one's my least favorite, and I don't think it's because it's bad. It's a good short. It just has the least like overall impact on me compared to the others. And then we'll put down here, since we're going to connect these all together, we're going to put Cannon Fodder, which the title alone, dear God, Cannon Fodder is so good. I feel like there's a Goldilocks effect going on because the reception was that the first Magnetic Rose was the most critically acclaimed, and then Cannon Fodder was acclaimed, and then Stink Bomb was acclaimed, but it was liked the least of the three. I think there's a Goldilocks effect. Stink Bomb, I think, is too long. When we were going through how long each of them were, I was like, man, Stink Bomb is taking a long time to get through. I think they could have condensed that short down by like 5 to 10 minutes. I really do. Not that it was bad. Not that it's, you know, in any way, shape, or form a terrible short. I really enjoyed it. But then I felt like this was too long. Stink Bomb was too long. Cannon Fodder was not long enough. I wanted more. And it's very much... Cannon Fodder gave me a Kurt Vonnegut vibe, which I love. Slaughterhouse-Five. It's one of my favorite books of all time. I love Slaughterhouse-Five. It gives me such vibes of understatement. Just here's what it is. There's a lot of talk about propaganda, a lot of talk about indoctrination, and about taking like the humanity and the joy out of things and making that normalized. There's a lot of talk about that. And I just, when it ended on the boy, I mean, in hindsight, iconic line to end on. I want to be the one that shoots the gun, not the one that loads the cannon. I'm like, whenever I'm like, oh my God, like what a line to end on. That's so iconic. And I want to talk about that third short, but I would have given anything for it to be 10 minutes longer, for us to get a little bit more, but that's me being greedy. It ends so good. It's so perfect how it ends. I'm like, that one makes you want more. Cannon Fodder makes you want more. Stink Bomb makes you want to, like, maybe we cut it down, maybe we get to the punchline a little bit quicker because the punchline's the big joke of haha. And I think Magnetic Rose is perfect. I don't think Magnetic Rose needed to be longer. I don't think it needed to be shorter. It stays its welcome. It gets what it needs to be done. It ends on a slight ambiguity. It does everything it needs to. So if you were to tell me Magnetic Rose was your favorite, I would wholeheartedly agree with you. If you told me Cannon Fodder was your favorite, I'm like, yeah. I talked about it in the end credits. I think thematically, Cannon Fodder is my favorite because of what it talks about. Magnetic Rose is my overall favorite. It's just really good. Stink Bomb's good. If you told me Stink Bomb was your favorite, Stink Bomb gives classic, like, Twilight Zone vibes. It just harkens to, like, old, like, fables. It's really good. I liked it a lot, but it's just, I think, the weakest of the three. It's good that it goes in the middle, and I think it overstays its welcome maybe a little bit, but dear God. Memories. So the whole thing, I loved all of these being connected together. I think it ties two memories. Magnetic Rose is the most literal out of all of them. It's the most literal, and I feel like as the anthology progresses, the concept of memory gets a little bit more abstract, a little bit more vague, and which is not a bad thing, but I feel like the ties of memories, of how there's concepts of letting go. What do we do with those memories? Do we let go of the bad? Do we retain only the good? What are the effects of that? How does that work? And then when you talk about memories with, Cannon Fodder is just the idea of how memory is corroded, of how memory is corroded and manufactured. Because it really was like a 1984 dystopian environment of we're fighting an enemy we don't even know. And the dad, when he tells the kid at the end, he's like, oh, you'll understand when you're older. It's that there is no enemy. It's just, this is a part of your life. You're a cog in the system, and that's all you will ever be. And there's just one person that gets chosen to fire the gun. It's likely not you. And the kid having the ambition of wanting to be the one firing the gun. Like, we're going to get into a whole thing. I want to wait till we get into the third one to talk about it in full, because I'm just like, But the idea of memory being corroded, of it being manufactured, of it being indoctrinated and sculpted, of how memory is, and the idea of does memory even matter? Does it matter? It does. The answer is it does. But just the question of that in this and how it's all production and produced. And then with Stink Bomb is the dangers of memory and the dangers of neglecting to care about memory. Neglecting to care, right? Nobuo's whole thing is that he didn't take the right bottle. I would say that of all of the shorts, Stink Bomb applies memory the least. So it kind of felt the most disconnected from the other two. Like, I could see how memory plays a part in this one, definitely in Magnetic Rose. But I feel if Stink Bomb, memory is probably the least, it's the least of its themes. Like, it's more to do with the idea of corruption and about karma and things like that. But the only thing memory wise that really tied in is the fact of, one, Nobuo taking the wrong medicine because he was sick and couldn't remember correctly, which we're going to talk about that. And then two, him remembering that I have this job to do, but forgetting and not connecting the dots that, oh yeah, you're a walking death trap. What are you doing? Like, the idea that he forgot that when he went to the very end. It's the flimsiest and weakest of the three in terms of that construct, but it's still enjoyable. I had a fun time watching it. I want to say that I know that people talk about Sora and AI and all of that, but I don't think that even as advanced as artificial intelligence with generative creation of art can become, it will never, ever, ever be as good as this. It will never be as good as this. There is such care and such humanity and such crafting of animation like in these three shorts that AI will not be able to replicate it. And I know that tech bros think they can, but you are wrong, sir. Art throughout the ages has proven you wrong, and it will continue to prove you wrong until the very end. Like, AI will just be slop. It will always just be slop because all it can do is just mimic, but it cannot create. It just mimics and deviates and derives from what it finds, but all it can do is compile things that it's found together. It can't actually have a soul and create with it. Now, if it does, like Magnetic Rose, then we're all screwed. But let's hope we don't get to that point. So I loved Magnetic Rose. So Koji Morimoto directed this. Corona is the ship, which I like Corona tying to maybe corroding, perhaps, the ship going out. I am a sucker for 1990s animation where it is like just the most finely detailed. I was getting Neon Genesis vibes, like just the finest detail. Every little wire, every little cog, every little nut and bolt is drawn and animated, and oh, it's so good. It's just a feast for the eyes. I love it so much. I also like the characters. So we established our characters who are junkers. They're basically a group of 4 junkers who go out and collect scrap. The Corona is the closest to wherever the signal from. So Ivanov, we have our characters. Ivanov is the man in the overalls with the mom tattoo, who is basically the captain of the ship, right? We have him. He is the captain. I liked the twist because when they were like, you guys need to go to this asteroid belt and go get things. And he's like, no, we can't do that. It's too far away. We're tired. The Corona's tired too. This ship's old and rusty. And they're like, we could throw in overtime pay. And he's like, nah. He's like, you'll have to find somebody else. And they're like, okay, then have a safe return. Which is interesting because normally when you have a setup like this, normally the setup is, okay, you need to go to this, like, out of your way asteroid belt to go do these things. And they're like, well, I guess we'll do it this one time since you decided to pay us overtime. And then that's when things go wrong. But here they turn down the overtime pay. So it's almost like their sloth is, like, punished because they didn't go and do it. And I'm like, it's a nice twist on the trope because normally when you go do the little outside missions, that's when things go awry. But here, it's not what happens. Also, I think when we look back at Heinz, so we have him, we have the one guy that's commanding he's one of the control center guys. Then we have Heinz. Well, actually, I'm going to talk about Heinz last on here because I have more to say about him. Then we have Miguel. Miguel is the womanizer. He's not necessarily a womanizer, but he is lustful. And he just wants companionship. Like, he is longing to get some kind of companionship. He's on this ship full of 3 other dudes that are not interested. So he just wants some companionship and he's lonely. And so Miguel, his loneliness makes him highly susceptible to the ghosts on the ship and to be lured in by this like AI computer that is like her memory personified. It's gained intelligence. It's like, again, why would we want to do this? Tech bros, stop. Why would you want to do that? Do you not see the hazards? We've had media for years telling you why this is a bad thing. Why would we want to go through with this? Your damn hubris. Your damn hubris. That's why. So he wants companionship and he's lonely. And then we have Hines. Hines, who has a daughter that died. A daughter that died. We're going to talk about that. And that he holds on to her memory. Holds on to her memory even after her death, which we're going to talk about. I also feel like, because he's talking about this management. So he's like we're a bunch of errand boys or something like that. And he has like his little flask and everything there. They only give us trash jobs. And the one guy's like, well, we are trash collectors, so that's about right. And he's like, you dumbass. They used to say one man's trash is another man's treasure, which the ship kind of proves that. If you find one wrecked ship, we could buy all the California beach houses. But there's too bad there's not any more out there. I don't know if he's talking about beach houses. I'm assuming he's talking about there's not any more ships that are out there to be wrecked. So, yeah. And so he's like, good work. Here you go. Aoshima. Aoshima about the wreck. So Aoshima is probably the guy we get the least character development on, but he's the guy running some of the controls. Aoshima and Ivanov, we don't get a lot with either of them. They're just kind of stuck on the ship. I'm assuming they make it out alive at the end. And it's kind of left ambiguous whether or not they went back to get Hines, so we can only assume. And he's like, if you want to see a wreck, there's one right outside. So then we get this picture. Sweet memories. The idea of it. I'll be back soon, Cecile. So yeah, Miguel is like, Miguel wants to go back home and see his lady in waiting, Cecile. That doesn't happen. But he's like, I'm stuck aboard this ship with all these dudes. I love that in a few short minutes, we set up all four of the characters. We set up their motivations. We set up that Aoshima wants to like scrap the ships that they find out in outer space to try to get money so he can buy a house back in the States. And then Ivanov is just kind of being overworked. Hines, it feels like Hines, my headcanon is after his daughter died, his marriage fell apart, and that's why he's out on this scrapper, because Hines seems too good for this job. And it becomes apparent. It's like when we were looking at Hines, I'm like, they're garbage disposal guys. Why is Hines, who seems really like on the up and up and super, not to trash people that pick up trash, but it just seems like a job that's beneath him. And he doesn't complain about it. So it's like, well, what's happened to him? And you find out his daughter's died, and that's kind of like I don't know if it's thrown his marriage apart. I don't know. We don't get to find out. We don't find out. I did want to note something about the wife, and when we get to the part with the madame and him trying to make the memory, I'm going to talk about it, but yeah. So Miguel and them, they're all debating on what to do. I just love the animation, like Miguel being half nude, floating around in the pod as they're like sitting there trying to figure out where the SOS signal is coming from. That part was all really good. And then the idea that the entire spaceship is like a big rose. Oh, and the magnetic fields are down so I can get close to it. It was giving Aliens. It was giving The Shining. It was very much giving The Shining, which The Shining is one of my favorite horror movies. So I'm like, any reference to that I'm all about. It was giving Twilight Zone. It was giving just, oh, it's so good. I loved every second of this. And the pacing of it, for being a ship just wandering through space, there's so much to look at and so many details to take in. There's also this very creepy, it also is giving me like Titanics. So we have Heinz Becker, who is the second mate. We see him in his certification on the ship, and we see his wife and his kids there in the shot. Okay. I did like even the little aspects that you wouldn't think of. Like they have to record going into the rescue craft. They have to record it so that they know ahead of time if the ship's found and they're looking for data, they have recorded what the mission was, what was going on. They have it for posterity. I liked that those little things were included. But every little detail, Also, the idea of them like going down into the ship and then finding this beautiful ballroom and all of this stuff kind of preserved within it. It was very similar, which this came out in 1995. When did Titanic come out? I want to know James Cameron's film. Okay, Titanic came out in 1997, which is very intriguing because I want to look up when was the first discovery of Titanic's the Titanic wreck. When was that underwater discovery? Okay, the wreck of the RMS Titanic was first discovered on September of 1985 by American French expedition led by Dr. Robert Ballard of the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution and Jean-Louis Michel of IFremer. Okay, and they located the discovery. So this technically came out, the first discovery of the Titanic wreckage was 10 years before this film came out. But also, this film came out 2 years before Titanic, which is, James Cameron did a lot of deep sea dives to go find the wreckage when he was doing inspiration for the film. So, interesting! I feel like it kind of is in the zeitgeist where if you watched films from a certain era, there was like a trend, like late 90s, early 2000s, lots of vampire, lots of werewolf stuff going on. Early 90s was lots of angel motifs, at least in Western culture. I don't know about Japan, but Western culture, these were motifs. And I feel like around the mid to late 90s into the early 2000s, there was also a lot of obsession with piracy, lots of obsession with water, lots of obsession with that, but also simultaneously kind of a mirror of that being like sci-fi and space, because it's like Cowboy Bebop, they're space pirates. So, you merge the two together, and this kind of feels like space pirates too. So, I don't know. It's just them penetrating into the hull of the station that is abandoned felt like them finding the wreckage of the Titanic. There was like connections to that, right? But yeah, so they're going down. They follow this SOS signal and get into here. And it's just the blending of... Also, Miguel early on sets up the fact that he is not long for this world, because this man... Like, the fact that he could not, like, function properly under the circumstances of getting his suit and stuff off, I'm like, that's a bad sign. Hines seems very capable and, like, seems self-sufficient, competent. Miguel is struggling, so that gives me, like, it gives the audience instant worry that Miguel's gonna be in danger at some point in this short, and he was. But I like that we had, this, like, ship. Let me get this right here. Do my little eraser. I'm glad I have erasers on these markers. Now, our haunted ship. So we have our haunted ship that is haunted by this opera diva's ghost. Oh, it was so good. But not only that, the opera diva's ghost and the computer system that is there to keep her company. There's a really cool, again, all three of these kind of like in weird ways. I know this like was made 30 years ago, but in weird ways, each of these three shorts in a way, shape, or form connect to something going on right now, which is timely and intriguing and interesting. So you have with Magnetic Rose, the idea of this computer system that this diva opera singer had. She like retreated from the world after murdering her husband because she couldn't stay with him forever. I was like, oh my God. So she retreated into outer space, after 2030 and has been there for we don't know how long ago she died. That's the thing. We see her corpse at the end. We don't know how long she's been dead, but she had been there in this spaceship by herself with all of her trophies, all of her costumes, all the flowers that were given to her, everything. And the flowers were from 2005. This was made in 1995, so it's their vision of the future. So it was like, 10 years from now. But then 2031 was when she went into outer space. So it's like this concept of the future, which do I think by 2092 will be at this stage? No. But I also feel like it's interesting that she put the computer system into play to allow her to relive her moments with Carlos over and over and over again. But then once she died, the computer became her. Her memories became it's like, if we're talking about AI and artificial intelligence, this short has a very eerie thematic to it where the computer eventually started to become her. She was dead long ago, but the computer keeps on doing the program, and the computer sort of takes on this sentience of becoming her. And it's left ambiguous to the audience whether is it her like memories becoming the soul of the computer? Does the computer take on her memories and become sentient in itself? It's left very ambiguous to us, but the use of the holograms, the use of the holograms, the use of like the ghosts on the ship and playing mind games with people, it's so eerie and it blurs the line. Of course, Satoshi Kon worked on this, because anytime Satoshi Kon is like notorious where it starts to blend the line between reality and the surreal, and what is dream, what is illusion, what is reality. It's very on the nose for Kon, and you can't quite tell what the actual answer is, and that's the point. You're not really supposed to know entirely what the answer is. You can make lots of educated guesses and probably be very close in that assumption, but I got bad vibes whenever, like, originally when I saw the ballroom, I'm like, oh, this is really pretty with the red marble and everything. The moment we saw, like, kind of the creepy star in the symbol of it, I was like, oh, this feels kind of cultish. Feels a little, and then the giant portrait of her, which, again, relating to the last one with Cannon Fodder, there's the image of who you should be. The last one is connected to Magnetic Rose, because in Cannon Fodder, the kid is like, you know, giving a salute to the portrait of the ideal victor, the ideal conqueror who fires the gun. And here it's that symbol of power. And here with Rose and her, Eva is who she is, which did the people making WALL-E and Eva, I know there's like Adam and Eve and all that, but did they also watch Memories and use Eva as a model? Looking at you, Pixar. I know that John Lasseter watches a lot of Studio Ghibli and watches a lot of anime, so that's possible. That's very possible. But yeah, but the portrait of like her semblance of power, of her dominating the ship. I freaking love all of this. And at first I was like, how did they get this? When they said there was fresh air blowing into the room, I'm like, oh, okay, there's fresh air blowing in. It's creating this sustainable environment for her to live on the ship. But then, you know, one thing that was really cool was there were parts of the ship that were very you could stay in. They were like hospitable, that you could walk around in without your helmet on and everything. And then you got to other parts of the ship that were decaying and falling apart and starting to rust out. And it was showing like on the surface, everything is like this veneer of like elite classism, and it's beautiful and gorgeous and everything seems so pristine. You go down a few layers and it's all rotting and decaying from within and falling apart. And it's so good. It's so good. I love it. I could just eat it up. But yeah, Miguel falls prey to the ghost. Miguel is the Jack Nicholson of this short. He falls prey quite easily to Eva and her delusions, her illusions that the computer has made. Also, these little angel statues that were running around, those things were creepy as hell. And they were firing laser beams at the end. No, there was so much that was just inherently creepy about all of this. But yeah, and then the scene with all of the food, like there is an aspect that's so eerie where the computer system is keeping up with appearances, and the computer system keeps going even after she has long since died. So it keeps making the lobster, it keeps making the food, it keeps serving the wine, it keeps serving everything. But when he turns the water faucet, it's like all nasty and rusty and gunky because you haven't used it in forever. And he's like, don't drink the wine. It's just a facade. It just is making things that are no longer edible just to keep up appearances. And there's something so eerie about it. It's kind of like, I'm obsessed. I've said this in other things I've recorded for the channel. I'm obsessed with abandoned amusement parks. That's why I love Spirited Away so much. I'm obsessed with abandoned amusement parks because it's the concept of this structure that had a purpose and a function that is no longer there, and it just doesn't leave. It stays there, and things like grow and happen around it. And it's so good. But yeah. So then, and then the damn Train Spotting baby doll. The moment he opened up the door and saw the flowers, and if you notice, there are flowers on all the tables. So it's just like all of these things. It's just like a mausoleum. They're walking in a living crypt, and it's so insanely good. But when he sees the doll fall to the ground, he's immediately, the doll falling is like his daughter falling off the roof. And he couldn't save the doll, and he couldn't save the daughter. And that's the connection. Oh my God. So we might as well put that up here. We have the idea that his daughter died. His daughter died while he was unable to save her. Now, the movie makes it kind of ambiguous, where it's like the movie doesn't tell you, like, was he on the roof and his daughter followed him and fell off in the spacesuit? We don't know that. We don't know that for sure. But was he even around when she died? We don't know that. Maybe it's just his memories and his assumptions. Again, one of the cool things about this is in his own memories, even them are kind of like a little bit corrupted, a little bit unsure of what happened, right? He's not even entirely sure what happened, but he just knows his daughter died. He was unable to save her, and it's haunted him, right? But then we go back to they're in this room and seeing all the jewelry and everything. Everything was so cool about when they touched the costumes and they all instantly fell apart like paper. It's like they were just barely held up by appearance, and then the moment you touch it, it's like good. And then this part here with the photos, very shining. Very shining, very appropriate. It was like the hotel. And her and Carlos, the moment that he saw himself as Carlos and looked back, and then he had taken Carlos's place in the picture, I loved it. Oh, so good. Also, the like hologram of her singing, amazing. So we find out from one of the trophies that it says there that it shows all of these trophies here of her singing, and one of them was from 2031. So that was like the latest trophy she had gotten before things went awry. Like she basically had this 25-year love with Carlos and then it fell apart. But yeah, Miguel, you in danger, sir. You instantly got hooked on this. And the roses being all corroded, but he thought they were real. To my dearest Eva from your Carlo, June of 2005. The fact that she kept those preserved for so long. Oh, that's so creepy. Oh, yeah, the moment Miguel was in the portrait, I'm like, he's dead. He's already been taken. And then the moment that Hines saw the freaking train spotting baby in the form of his daughter coming from the ceiling, that was terrifying. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I liked Hines. They hint that Hines might be alive at the very end, which I was kind of glad for. I'm like, I hope that the ship finds Hines and saves him, because he like was able to overcome the ghost and was able to like talk about, and kind of one thing I liked about this was that Miguel just gets tricked. Miguel's lust lets him get trapped by Eva. But I also loved, what does anime have against Evas? Also, I loved that the main focus of this became Hines having to overcome his past and move forward. So it was about him accepting the past and not succumbing to nostalgia in a way that it becomes toxic and allows you not to live for the present. And the reason I say this, the reason it's so messed up is that I had a friend send me an ad a few weeks ago for this that is real, by the way, that is real. And it's this idea of creating like an AI. It's the idea of, let me rephrase this. My friend showed me a few weeks ago that one of their friends their mother had passed years ago, right? Their mother had passed years ago. And so for Christmas, this friend of hers had gotten her a portrait of her child. Like she has a baby of her child, but it's her dead mom holding the child, and it's AI created. So it looks real. It looks like a real portrait of her mom carrying this woman's child. And I get the sentiment behind it, where it's like, oh, if your mom could have been here, she would have held your child, and that could have been this big sentimental moment. I get the sentiment behind it, and I don't want to knock someone that finds that as a form of the grieving process, but it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous, because the AI looked real. Like, I thought it was a real portrait, and then my friend's like, yeah, that mom is dead and has been for like 6 years. And I was like, oh, no. So it's dangerous because, one, it's this idea of like memories being corrupted and memories being like, what if somebody 40 years from now, what if the kid's kid, what if the grandchildren of this woman find this portrait years from now and sees this woman holding the baby, and they're like, oh, there's great Graham holding this. And it's like, no, that was AI made. That never happened. That was not a real memory. That's not correct. It didn't actually happen. Like, there's so much that's dangerous about artificially tampering with memories because of what it does and how it affects your psyche, and it's just not right. And then there was like another technology that springboarded off, where now you can go and record yourself like saying things and upload yourself as this artificial interface, and then if something happens to you, your family can like have video conversations with AI that's you. That's messed up. And I'm like, no, don't do that. So it's really disturbing. It's really disturbing. And this kind of like, this was 30 years ahead of its time, talking about the dangers of memories being corrupted. And God, the colors and everything in this are so good. Also, I feel like Eva targeted Carlos because she was profiling. She was profiling and taking like the one Latin man on the ship and was like, you're Latin like Carlo, let's go. And it's like, no. Also, him walking through this like shot of, I don't know what this is supposed to be. Like, it's a shot of the sculpture of these angels and all this like, of this woman being surrounded by angels and everything, but there's like the camera inside. It's like this beautiful artwork, but then inside there's this camera taking imagery that is recording all of it. Oh my God. Nope. Okay, I want to go through these headlines as Aoshima are doing reconnaissance. She kept performing on stage for Carlos's sake, even after her voice was injured. So we say, crazy love, Eva might be the shining of the opera again. Eva still had energy to dance, even though she lost her voice. It says, Johnny's Onuli, that looks like, okay, that's just place text. Yeah. Even though she lost her voice, no one seems to know why she did that. Well, because she loved him. And it says, Eva not in the mood for singing. So then it shows her and Carlos getting separated further and further. The fierce tigress escapes. So yeah, she doesn't want to perform anymore. Everyone started lobbing criticism at her. So it's this idea of, just like with Hines escaped the reality of what happened to his daughter by holding on to this picture of his family and trying to avoid the reality that she wasn't there. And Eva did the exact same thing. She tried to escape the reality that she was aging and couldn't perform anymore, and that her love was perhaps fading, and she tried to escape all that to find escapism out in space from the reality, which again, comparing to now where we have these billionaires that want to leave this planet and while it's on fire and go out into space to escape it all, is pretty on the nose. She's like, only I get to decide what I'm worth. The world kept spinning and it left her behind, so she basically escaped. But then it says that Carlos died, and there's like her over the grave, but she's dressed in all red. When you go to a funeral for your loved one in red, you prime suspect number one. You're suspect number one, girl. But I love that the flowers are like the roses and lilies, which lilies are poisonous. So that's, roses and lilies are my two favorite flowers. So I'm like on them instantly. But yeah. So maybe she killed him and then realized afterwards like what a mistake it was, and then had those regrets and then left to space. But God, everything about this ship is so freaking cool. So yeah, the moment Miguel slips and falls into the oil in front of the piano, in the moment he did that, I was like, Miguel's doomed. He's done. Who knows if this is even real anymore? Because it's like the Alice in Wonderland trope. The trope of Alice in Wonderland is one of my favorite kids' stories, where she like falls, she bumps her head, falls through the tree into the rabbit hole, and that leads to her adventures in Wonderland. Same concept. But the oil hitting the keys and the ghost tying in, again, you don't know what's real, what's not real. There was also, in the scene with the piano, there was the way that it was lit and like the metal and everything. Gorgeous. Could talk about it all day long. It was giving off vibes similar to Angel's Egg, where in Angel's Egg, there's kind of this like futuristic kind of neo-dystopian space vibe to it. It was giving off those vibes. But yeah, and then everything changing. I cannot praise enough the animation and how gorgeous this is. I cannot praise it enough. This is absolutely gorgeous. Miguel seeing Eva getting thrown into it. Whenever Hines goes down there and finds Miguel just wandering around in the goop and he's like, he's lost it. I'm like, yes. But Hines stumbles across the office space for Eva and then sees her at the dining table. Which is interesting because at the dining table, he's going to go back to that scene later, only he's going to see his wife and kids there. So his wife and daughter there. So when she stabbed him with the knife, I thought it was real. But the reality is that I think that it's either the way that everybody's clapping, again, Neon Genesis vibes. We also got that Neon Genesis vibes in Stink Bomb too, with them all clapping like, congratulations. Whenever she's about to stab him on the stage with all the people clapping, there's this question of, is this when she killed her husband? And this is just the reenactment of it on stage for all to see, and Hines is in the position of Carlos? Or was this a performance she was doing and the audience is just reacting to it? Is it a combination of the two? It's going to tie in later to Hines at the table with his wife and daughter. So there's all these layers of memory and contextualizing it and the idea of performance as memory, because the papers list history in one respect with how she is, which that will connect to cannon fodder, the idea of how things are propagated through media. So the papers present everything in one light, but the reality with her is that things were not all what they seemed. Things were not entirely what the papers and the media and the people thought they were. And only she had the correct memory. And did she even have the correct memory? Because this isn't even her memory. This is the computer feeding off what she told it. So was she even telling the computer the correct memory? Or was this all just a fantasy that she had in her head that the computer fed off of and is now regurgitating? There are layers. There are Inception level layers to all of this, of how this memory is purported to us. That is so fascinating. I love it. So yeah. So then we see the daughter. Then we see the daughter getting the space suit. And of course it's like the rainbow space suit. And she wants to go out in space with the dad. I like that there's this cool blend of technology. There's like the projector and the computer. But then there's like just a wooden bed frame. It's like 1980s versus... I love how the 80s and 90s viewed technology of the future. I'm always kind of... I think that like that futuristic tech, but it's like retro tech, retro futurism. It's kind of cool. Love it. But yeah, and his daughter looked just like him. And it shows their house. The weather vane is the rocket. And she tried to go up to the top of the rocket, and then it... Because they have like the little 1980s radio by there. Now, one thing I thought was interesting is at this point here with Emily, when they're at the kitchen table, it's clear that the husband, that Hines loves the daughter so much. Like she is his pride and joy. And she is like the reason why he lives. What's interesting is the wife is kind of an aside in this, which is fascinating. The wife is not like... You know, normally he'd be like, oh, my wife and kids. But here the wife is kind of like pushed to the side. And even when Eva like says, come inside, Eva is not imitating the wife. Eva is just herself. So you have to wonder if like Eva did not want to take on the persona of the wife because she was like, I'm only going to be me. Or if the computer didn't register that. If the computer only registered like his memories were attaching to the doll, attaching to the daughter, and that's what the computer realized was the central memory of him losing her. But after losing her, did him and the wife split up? We don't know. I only say that because when Eva has Emily by her side, the computer being Eva has Emily by her side, and she's like, come inside. He doesn't question, you're not my wife. He doesn't do that. He's just like, oh, my daughter's here. So it makes me think that he didn't care about the wife, which means maybe they got divorced after he lost the daughter, and the daughter is the central to everything going awry. But yeah, the whole time he's sitting at the table, I kept being like, something bad's gonna happen in this moment. Because yeah, when he like looks over, he like gets coffee from the wife, and he's like, I feel the same. We'd like him to be home all the time, right, dear? And then he's just like, oh, he feels kind of guilty about not being home all the time. And so I wonder if that's like part of their relationship not being as good because he's gone and the wife doesn't like that. But then the flowers start changing back and forth, and it's like there's a glitch in the Matrix. They start changing to roses, and Hines starts freaking out. And then we see this giant stage. This stage that's set up, which is supposed to also be the stage where he was talking to her earlier, and it's like mimicking the house. Like the computer system interface has all the tech come out. Like it's this weird mixture of metal and cobwebs. It's aesthetically, this is so amazing. I could look at this all day long. I could drool over this. It's so freaking good. And when he shoots the woman, Eva, the computer system, but he won't shoot the daughter. He can't shoot his daughter, right? Meanwhile, the magnetic fields are starting to come back up, and Ivanov and Aoshima are worried that they're not going to be able to get out of there. They're like, you need to leave. Things are going awry. Hines finds Miguel, but he's like, he's toast. He basically is like that one guy from Armageddon that like gets strapped to the bomb. They're like, he's done. I kept thinking something was going to land on Hines. Like some of the pieces of the ship were going to like land and crush him is what I kept thinking were going to happen. But yeah, Miguel gets taken in, and it's basically like The Shining. They're like, come play with us. And they slowly draw him in. Yeah, Miguel's doomed. He's done. Which, that's insane. The idea that Miguel just stayed in that ship until he died, living this fantasy. And did he eat or drink? Was there any food left in the ship? So he probably didn't live very long. And then he just became a ghost in the shell, if you will. Oh, it's so wild! But yeah, so then Hines at the piano gets the piano becomes the house that he used to be at. And then we find out, I love that the house becomes this just shell of itself, and it's all grisly and creepy, and how he recognizes it. And when we saw the daughter getting up on the rooftop, she's like, oh, the daughter gets up seeing the weather vane. And I like that the string on the rocket weather vane is red, like the red string of fate connecting his daughter dying. There's so many little intricate layers of symbolism. And she's like, Papa, look. She's like, now I can go into space with you. And she climbed up on the roof, and then she fell. Yeah, she had the little jetpack on. And clearly she fell off the roof. Now, when she originally fell, I thought, oh, they're not going to show her actually falling to her death. And they don't at first, but then they do. Because we have Eva with her on the ground, and she's in this like white dress, like the white dress showing her being this pure child and of innocence and purity, while Eva's in like the red dress, and there's the house, and she tries to convince him. And all this man wanted was to be reunited with his daughter. But then he looks down, and it says, okay, and it shows him with his daughter and the wife. It says certification by the UBI, second mate Heinz Beckner. The Union Bureau of Investigation certifies the bearer has every right secured by the Union jurisdiction of navigation. Interesting. It's interesting he's like part of an investigation unit, so maybe him being part of the trash heap thing was like a demotion. Maybe after his daughter died, he got demoted and he just kept the ID on him whenever he went somewhere. Or maybe all the trash collectors are part of the UBI anyway? I don't know. But yeah, and then, damn, they showed her dying, and that was insane. The voice actor that played him, like, you saw the blood trickle out of her ear and everything. Oh, my God. The voice actor for Hines did such a good job. He was incredible. You all will comment down below who he is, but he did such an amazing job. I thought, like, I was all aboard Hines. I was rooting for him. I wanted him to get out. And then when he shoots her that is this, like, robot. It's this robot with this computer system that is just programming her, and she gets up in her damn Glinda bubble, which again, Wizard of Oz. I like it's also Wizard of Oz tying in. Yeah, because it's like the man behind the curtain is the Wizard of Oz. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Very Wizard of Oz coded. Freaking adore it. And then as they're trying to get out, I felt so bad. The opera singing as he's being flung out into space. I kept wanting to put the damn helmet on, Which it seems like he gets the helmet on at the end, but I'm like, is that reality? Is it not? He gets flung out and we're like, well, he's gonna die. But then at the end, and then we cut to her room. We cut to her bedroom as things are shaking and falling. And in her big canopy bed, she's just in bed asleep there with the rose. Yep. How long she been dead? Nobody knows. But the computer has her spirit live on with her and Miguel as Carlos. I mean, Cecile, I guess good for you. And then the ship is just in the shape of a rose. Damn. My thing was, did Hines end up living? We see the light above him. We see a light above him. Was that the ship coming to rescue him? Was it? Or is it just, I don't know. And we see the flower petals like flickering off of his shield. And then he opens his eyes at the end. Did he get saved by the other ship? Did he get saved? Or did he die out in space? Did he get to see his daughter again? Was that the memory? Or I'm glad he wasn't trapped on the ship. I'm glad he wasn't trapped on the ship with Miguel. That would have been terrifying because at least Miguel was just lusting after Eva, so at least he gets to be with her in the end. But I wanted Hines to be saved. I felt like at the end, I feel like they tossed us that buoy of like Hines could be alive just to make you feel better, but I don't know if he is or not. I don't know how he could be. But Okay. So then, but yeah, I'm pretty obsessed about Magnetic Rose. Magnetic Rose is so good. It's so freaking good. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. So that takes us into the next one, which is Stink Bomb. I feel like Stink Bomb has a lot of promise to it. One thing that I find very intriguing about Stink Bomb is how it predated a lot of culture surrounding COVID, which is, this was 20 years ahead of its time. The idea that, or rather, 20 years ahead of its time. 25 years? Yeah, 25 years. I was getting myself mixed up the whole time. But just this idea about panic and negligence. Panic and negligence, and just the idea of hubris and power over nature. I think that some of the concepts of Stink Bomb could have been explored a lot more, which was one of the deterring factors because, Nobuo is not a protagonist you root for. He is very much like so disheveled and so unorganized and so like just aloof the entire time. You're like, my dude, this felt very much like a Twilight Zone episode where we start out with everyone just being sick and it's in this overcrowded clinic. Nobody's practicing proper hygiene. They're giving this cold medicine and then giving him this shot, like straight into the damn vein. And then they send him home, which he goes straight to work instead of staying home and just being sick like a normal person. That is one thing. I feel that COVID, if anything, granted, other countries were wearing masks and doing proper masking procedures before we were, which he does not do in this episode. I definitely feel that since then it's changed my perspective about sickness and about health. And before I was like, you better be in class no matter what, even if you're throwing up. And now I'm like, oh no. I'm like, you have a cold? Go home. I don't want to be sick. No, thank you. So it's like, take care of yourself, please. And take care of the rest of us in taking care of yourself. So I definitely think that there's been a huge shift since 2020 with that. But of course he works in this government lab, the Nishibashi like chemical lab, chemical and health science, and works there and then goes to work. I was like, yes, a man that's highly sick should be totally around all these biochemicals. Absolutely. And everybody's just like, oh, we'll just go and get some like stuff out of the chief operator. Like, what does he say there? Because they ask him if he'll be a guinea pig for all their cold medicine. And we get, the one thing that is fun about this second short is there's lots of visual symbolism with Nobuo. Like his entire like one shelf is just all these different cold medicines. So it's kind of assumed that maybe he's a hypochondriac, maybe he's always sick, and that's something that is part of his personality. And they're like, you should try the new medicine we're developing. I saw a sample on the chief's desk. It should be good. It's pre-market stuff. the blue pills in the red bottle. He does not take the blue pills in the red bottle. He takes the red pills in the blue bottle. Again, talking about memory, the dangers of when you don't get your memory correct, when you're not paying attention, when you're negligent. That's the problem. You shouldn't do that. Also, negligence on the chief's part. Why the hell would you have a top secret government medicine on the same counter as a top secret cold medicine? Why would you do that? That's just negligence, right? And it shows him throwing like, there's like all these bottles. There's a Coca-Cola placement. And then all of these like cigarettes and everything. I feel like it's a good moral lesson about hubris and about like taking care of yourself, and also about the dangers of if you are unhygienic and you're not cleanly around yourself, like how it can endanger others and not just yourself. And that's the thing. Like, also the chief's room where there's all these boxes everywhere and all these books and stuff is so wild. God. Yeah, all this data and stuff on his desk, and then he sees the 2 bottles. Yep, the 2 samples, and then the one that he takes from. Yep, he took the capsule that was basically, yeah, and you can even see like the gas inside the capsule. He basically became a nuclear agent in there. Yep. And then everybody started smelling around and then figured out it was too late by then. Too late with all the filtration system and everything. I also thought this was a good like analogy for, again, talking about COVID, just the idea of responsibility and, again, negligence of those around you, because the entire time, at no point does Nobuo think, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe everyone's dying because of me. He's just like, what's going on? How could this be? And it's like, you're the one that started it. Like, he's patient zero. And it made me think of back during COVID when we were all sheltering in place and people were being asked to mask, and Huckleberry, be nice. And when everybody was masking and stuff, and there'd be some people around me that'd be like, well, I'm not sick, so I'm not going to mask because I'm not the one sick. But then they would be the carrier. They would be asymptomatic and would spread COVID without realizing it. But not my problem. They'd be like, oh, well, it's not my business. Why should I have to worry? I'm not the one who has it. And it's like, again, this is like 25 years ahead of its time. Insanity. But yeah, they said unconscious at first, but I'm like, these people are all dead. You're not unconscious with your eyes open like that. No. And they're all like mangled and everything. There was definitely horror vibes in this. And I feel like the horror vibes could have been, I felt like they kind of gave way to sort of the like dark comedy of it all by the end of it, because Nobuo is just so unassuming. And all these horrific things are happening around him. And he's just like, oh, well, I don't know what's going on, but I'll make sure to get the medicine to your front door like you asked. Which I think that connects kind of down to this one here. I mean, we had the idea of like memories being faulty. So we're going to connect that here about a faulty memory, because that connects these two together. And here is the idea of, again, memories getting out of your control. Because by the time we get to cannon fodder, the memories are out of their control. It's not even like what memory even. We don't even know what the memory was to begin with anymore, which is kind of explored in Magnetic Rose to a sense. But the difference, the thing that connects Stink Bomb and cannon fodder is this idea of kind of this blind obedience. In a sense, because Nobu's told to go and take the sample to the guys in Tokyo, and at no point does he really question what he's been told to do. He's like, well, should I do that? Or maybe I'm the problem. Or there's also the idea of I'm the problem that is neglected. At no point does he say, maybe I caused all of this. Maybe everyone's dying because of me. No, that's never addressed. Nobu never thinks that. It's like, he figures it out at some point, but then he doesn't do anything with that information, right? So they ask him to bring the stuff to the Tokyo base, and he's like, okay, I guess I'll go. On the most industrial, durable bike known to man. This bike has been through it all. Well, I think he's on 2 bikes throughout the whole thing. Yeah, the first bike crashes, and he gets like a second motorbike at the same time. When he talks about all the flowers blooming at the same time, that was one thing I really wanted to see more of, Because, like, the moment where we saw all of the things had crashed and all of the cherry blossoms were in bloom with the sunflowers, and they started talking, like, the news crew that were flying over the city were saying, like, hey, there's flowers blooming all across the city. I wanted there to be a little bit more with that. I feel like we could have shortened Nobu's travel time down a hot second and gotten more with, like, the flora and fauna. Like, the animals are all dying, but the flowers are blooming. What is going on with that? And they don't really explore that in any other way. So I was like, oh, that would have been kind of cool to see play out. But yeah. And then, of course, there's the meeting of the minds where they're all in this control room trying to figure out, and old Idris Elba is representing the U.S. as he would be, you know, over there. But I just think that there's also this idea of, like, panic, everyone trying to get out of the city. At one point, people were, like, just getting out of their cars and, like, climbing over everything. Like, it felt like a zombie apocalypse. It felt like, it felt very much like how people reacted during our own pandemic, where people were just acting stupid instead of doing common sense things. But in this case, they can't really do much because the gas is just beyond their control, right? And then, yeah, the moment that Nobu's like, hey, everybody's dying around me, I wonder why. And it's like, well, also, I just like, of course, the guy that wants to weaponize and take Nobu in for experimentations from the U.S., of course he is. You know, just little things like that. But yeah, I like that the smoke cloud around him gets thicker and thicker. And honestly, instead of just killing him, which would have been, the U.S. would have fired at him long ago, for better or worse, it's like, if you killed him, would it go away or would it just get stronger? We don't know. Obviously, I didn't want Nobu to die. I'm just amazed that they didn't kill him ahead of time. But yeah, and Nobu not realizing, I wonder why these tanks and stuff are all collapsing around me. I also kind of wanted more with the grandparents and the brother, because there's like a brother and the grandparents that are there that are, is it his brother? Is it his lover? We don't know. But Nobu's family get briefly shown in this, and the grandma's there for a hot second, but then she kind of disappears from the story. So I did want more with that. I wanted more to see, like, how the family could have gotten involved and all that, but that didn't end up happening. So, I mean, it was fine. I do love, there was a very much a Neon Genesis aspect of, like, the higher-ups trying to figure out what to do. And I like that it wasn't like, they're all trying to figure out what to do with this weaponized medicine, but at no point do they really care about the people of Japan. The people of Japan, they're like, yeah, we'll save them, but this weapon, you know, which, again, of people in higher power and the greed and the corruption, and it's all kind of like, it's just in the face of all of that, right? I feel like the satire of it is really well done. And of course, when he's like listening to the grandma, he can't hear what she's saying. He goes through like 5 bikes in this season. I'm looking now that I'm rewatching it, I thought he had the same bike the whole time. No, he had a pink bike and then a green bike and then a like beige bike. He's gone through like every motorized bike. He clearly does not want to drive a car, but he has like every bicycle imaginable, which is funny because honestly, if he had a car, would the gas have gotten up in the car? Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I think it's funny he just has like different motorbikes the whole time, which is kind of hilarious to me. But yeah, he can't hear what the grandma says. And then I do like how the gas does make it to where like the guy misses the shot and he can't get the right aim. And it's all just kind of commenting on the fact that he can't get the right, it gives an excuse for the military to not be adequate at their job because the gas is getting in the way. The gas is killing them. They can't aim properly. They can't do the right stuff. It also the gas starts to have electrical properties and start to affect the equipment. So at least it gave a reason for it. But Nobuo, with all the missiles and stuff firing at him, this man should have died like a hot second ago. And that was kind of, at that point, when the missiles all fire at him and he still lives through it and they're like, the missiles are aiming at each other and getting mismatched and like everything, like the road is being destroyed around him and he's on this little bicycle. At that point, like towards the end of it, it became less of like a social commentary and exploration and more of just like a farce of like this guy keeps living despite them trying to kill him and it's just because he took like an experimental drug. It kind of became more of just like a satire, which is fine, But I felt like with this series, there was so much. There's like little things of like the planes being, like the airports being crowded, the trains being crowded, the people trying to escape the city. They're just touched on briefly. And I feel like, especially with our audience now, knowing what it's gone through with the pandemic, I feel like there was so much more that could have been explored with this, that at the time it's just, oh, isn't this funny? And now it's like, oh, that could have been interesting. But they didn't explore it any further. But go Madhouse. Also a note, the little kid with like the Hamtaro little bag on his side, that was really cute. But yeah, so then of course the US is like, we have this special suit with the Navy that we'll go to get him with. And it's funny because my question is, how did he get in the suit? Because let's go to that. They come out in the suit. There's 3 of them. They all walk in. And then it felt like something straight out of The Thing when they walk in and there's the dry ice coming at them, the like liquid nitrogen flying at them to try to freeze him. And then it like gets up to him and he of course freaks out. And of course they have to show us the little US flag on there, right? To know. And then they have the little capturing claw that's gonna, oh, it's more of a taser. They're gonna tase him. And he freaks out. But then what do we get happening? It destroys all the equipment. I liked the animation of the main guy from Japan, the leader, like pacing back and forth. That was really good. But then they get the communications. Everybody's like around. Okay, so we see him with his briefcase and he's in the suit and there's other 2 guys around him and the suit jacket is just like by itself next to this body bag. So how did that even work? Like, did they let him in the suit? What ended up happening? Because did the US troops not even know? That part was a little confusing to me because there's 3 guys still at the end waving up to comms. So they had to know that Nobuo was in one of the suits. They had to have known that. So why did they let him go with the suitcase to Tokyo? I mean, I guess they assumed that it was fine. Wasn't Idris Elba and the other guy in the other suits? Did they know it was him? Interesting. Also, it would not be a 90s anime without an ashtray overflowing with cigarette butts, like to an absurd degree. So yeah, so Idris Elba and them are all good, and then they're like, here comes this guy. They bring him in, and they're like, congrats, you solved world peace. And then he's like, here, I brought this to you. And then he reveals that he's inside, and he's like, I'll open it up, and then it kills everybody. Womp womp. Womp womp! Imagine that. The second one is fine. The second one is fine. It's okay. It's probably my least favorite of the 3 just because it has all of these really cool concepts, and instead of developing those concepts further, it just kind of makes it a parody and makes it funny, and they're like, let's actually just make this like a funny Twilight Zone episode, and that's kind of where it goes. And it's like, okay. But the last one is the shortest of the 3, and I feel like the second one was a little bloated. You could have, if you weren't gonna do anything with the flowers, if you weren't gonna do anything with the grandma, don't even introduce the family. If you're not gonna do anything with them, just make it to where he gets to there and whatever. But you could have cut like 5 or 10 minutes out of this second one and given those 5 or 10 minutes to this third one that is arguably very intriguing and very timely. And I feel like I ever since I finished Orb on the Movements of the Earth, I've been looking for some social commentary to fill in the void that is in my life, and now that is over. And this is it. This is it. So starting out with a little clock, and there's a cannon firing at a castle turret, and that's it. Every aspect of this boy's life is indoctrination to being part of this militaristic lifestyle. Every aspect of his life. So the aspects of his life, let's say the boy, the family does not have a name. It's the boy, father, mother. But the boy, the clock that he has a cannon on it. The fact that by his desk, everything is like related to shell ammunition, shell ammo, related to anything military themed. So there's that going on. But this little boy wakes up to go to school, and then he always like salutes. he salutes this portrait of the hero. So the portrait of the hero, as it would be, because he looks like that. He's like framed with a sword and everything. The conqueror. Maybe conqueror is better than hero. But yeah, Cannon Fodder by Katsuhiro Otomo. I liked that everybody's skin color in this. They all look like something out of Cartoon Network from 1990s. Like the gray skin is very much like, it feels very post-apocalyptic, dystopian. The gray skin, the hair, like everything's muted colors. The kitchen and everything, it's all run by gears and steampunk, and they all wear like the gloves and everything. The dad seems to be the one that, like, the mom's just doing her job. The mom has pretty much accepted this way of life and accepts it as it is. The dad is the one that seems to question it because he's always watching the news. He's reading the papers. He's seeing the propaganda. The dad seems like he's accepted his fate, but always in question of it. And then we see like the son going off to school. The son talks about, what does he talk about here? He talks about these headphones that everybody has that are playing music. And when you get to see like everything around it, like the visual rhetoric of this short is incredible. So we talk about how there is no music, or as a humanities major, it is appalling that the humanities are stripped out because there is no humanity. It's all this wartime atmosphere. And if you look, all in that shot where they get on the little elevator to go down to the train, every cannon is in the same direction. Every cannon is pointed to the outside. Every cannon is pointed to the outside. And I'm not going to lie, as someone in the U.S. right now, in a climate where there's a lot of nationalism and isolationism promoted, this feels very pointed. This feels very pointed indeed. Indeed. But yeah, and so they go to track 17, where they going to Cannon 17 is essentially it. But yeah, also some of the symbolism, like with the eagle, and there's like the two little like zigzags. I mean, it says north, south, east, and west, but like the zigzags and stuff, is some Nazi propaganda going on? Just a little bit. I didn't want to say it in the reaction, but it is definitely giving like World War II kind of like SS vibes. It's given a lot of it, right? It's giving a lot of it. And also, and I'm not one to say anything. The U.S. had a shit ton of propaganda in World War II. You can go look that up. There was a lot. They were using Disney characters for propaganda for wartime stuff. So, I mean, it was everywhere. Every country's government was using some form of propaganda against the other. That's kind of the point. The point is that it's literally a country industrializing and making war is the culture. War is the society. And there's no end to it, and there's also no reason for it, is kind of a big proponent in this third one. And the big symbolism is the big cannon is this red cannon that stands out. It is the main cannon. It's the one that they're all working on. And the red just makes it just so vibrant and instantly recognizable. And they're like, there's no conquest without labor. That line there, damn, that is so crazy. No conquest without labor. Which the line that the boy says at the very end is so haunting. I want to be the one, and we'll correct it if I'm wrong here. I want to be the one to fire the gun, not load the cannon like my dad. That is heartbreaking, that this kid being denied any access to things that are for personal enjoyment or music or things that create humanity. He's like, I want to be the one to fire the gun. And it's like, the fact that he says that, but he has no clue who he's firing at. He has no clue who he's attacking. Nobody does. It's even all they say on there. We'll go back to that news report, but the kid doesn't even know who they're attacking. He asks the dad, and the dad's like, you'll get it when you're older. And the thing is, you never know. You're complicit in this violence against someone you don't even know who it is. And I mean, you want to talk about Ukraine and Russia, Palestine, Israel, US, Afghanistan, the history of war in itself is derived in some way about how complicit each population is in the fact that they're harming someone else, and how complicit people are. And they're just like, well, that's, I guess we're at war. I don't know. But there's also the propaganda that make you feel, because you don't want to feel like you're doing something wrong. No human wants to feel like they're the one that's the villain or the bad guy. So you have propaganda created to be like, well, we have to do this. We have to have victory. We have to conquer and have victory and be victorious. But against what? For what purpose? And in this short, there is no purpose. It's just a vibe. We have to be conquerors. And just everybody looking the same, giving me Attack on Titan vibes. It says KO to enemy, like knock out the enemy. Who is the enemy? In the words of Erwin Smith, where is the enemy? What enemy do you see? There is none, right? And then it says gun crew. And I like that there's one poster that's been vandalized, like all of them have been vandalized. From the gun crew, they've got like some graffiti on them showing people are a little bit against it. Then you see some propaganda that says like V for victory. The guns, it says the gun loft, V for victory. The man that's the dad has like a picture of his family in the locker, like he's telling himself, like, why am I doing this? Well, I'm doing this for my family and I have to do this. Meanwhile, the school scene was the most disturbing for me. As a teacher, the school scene was so disturbing. It was so disturbing. I hated it. Because there's this guy walking around teaching algebra, but the way that he's teaching algebra to these kids who are all wearing helmets. So it's like the way the kids are all dressed is militaristic. So it's immediately being like, it is a propaganda in their clothing. They are being dressed to presume that this is the life they're going to live and this is what they have to do. And then the instructor's there saying we can calculate the position of our target. Like language. Language is so powerful. It really is. Language is insanely powerful. And so just saying the theoretical position of our target puts math in a militaristic language that purports that idea that this is okay. It normalizes it. To achieve even greater accuracy, we have to account for the external factors which create aberrations. Weather factors, wind speed, direction, the effective trajectory of the shot. All of this language is normalizing to these kids that this is all okay, that this is normal. And it's a propaganda tactic and indoctrination that's been used over and over and over again. And I know that, like, because I'm in the US and our universities are often under fire, especially from conservative groups now, because they're promoting ideologies about, and I use a Southern voice because I'm from a rural area and I hear these things constantly. They're letting kids be cat people and pooping boxes and they're purporting that trans ideology. And I'm like, the thing that's so wild to me is, especially with ideologies about peoples and their identities, it's like, what is that hurting? Like, there may be language used that fosters love and care for another human being. Like, okay, be open-minded, be kind, be considerate, be open to diversity and to broadening your horizons. No one is harmed in this rhetoric. This rhetoric doesn't hurt anyone. It's just about acceptance and about tolerance and being kind. But this rhetoric, when people are like, well, why do you do it this way, not the other way? Well, this rhetoric is hurting someone. This rhetoric is purporting violence. It's encouraging like violence against someone else. It's encouraging hatred. It's encouraging ostracization. It's encouraging exclusion. It is hurting someone in the process. Whereas the opposite end, it's like the phrase two things can be true at once. There's also a thing of like, well, yes, you can believe in that, but that doesn't make it right or moral, you know? So this whole indoctrination in this classroom it's terrifying. And I get really mad because there have been some instructors targeted for their rhetoric in the classroom, but their classroom rhetoric was just being nice to someone or understanding your history and accepting responsibility for it. And the opposite is just doing neither of those things and hurting people. And it's just, get off my soapbox. So the giant red cannon is interesting because you have all of these hundreds of people working on it. And it kind of shows, It shows a lot of things. It shows how people are complicit. It shows how people are complicit in bad action is like a big thing. So I went to a tour of and I feel like we are at times complicit constantly in our lives because the world is in many ways so corrupt. You have to choose little complicitness. Like, for example, I don't have a recycling facility near me. The nearest recycling facility is an hour away. It is not financially or logistically possible for me to recycle my goods and go to those facilities. So do I dispose of a lot of plastic that is contributing to our ecological crisis? Yes. And I am complicit in that. I'm understanding that I am complicit in that. I try to take actions to help counteract that complicitness by, like trying to be mindful and not as wasteful in other aspects. But I am very cognitively aware that I am helping and contributing to this problem. I know that. I'm aware of it. I understand it. I try to counterbalance that in different ways, for better or for worse. But then you have, like, I was on a trip the other day for work, and this girl and I were sitting on a bus with some other older, like, counselors and things like that. And one person was talking about Temu, which I will not order from Temu because of labor laws and overconsumption and, like, hyper-capitalism and things like that. But the one lady was like, I just love Temu. I order from it all the time. It's so convenient. And this girl and I were like, we want to save the environment. And we both got, like, this snubbed look of, like, well, you just, and we're like, yeah. But it's just like being complicit. Like, are you complicit in contributing to a problem? Okay. Do you understand what that problem and how serious it is? Okay. And in this short, everyone is complicit in being a part of the bomb being shot at to an enemy they don't even know. And I feel like a lot of times in history, at least like when I think back to World War II, when we were taught in school that it was like the atomic bomb and the US dropped the atomic bomb, but it's often credited to a few select individuals or an entity, but it's never really talked about how many people were complicit and involved in that happening. And it's not talked about as much. And this kind of hammers home that idea surrounding it, right? Because they go through all this trouble to get this bomb loaded, and then everyone is evacuated so that one man, who is no different than them, arguably in less physical shape than the other men that put the bomb up there. He's got like a portly belly, and he looks kind of like, he's a little portly. He looks like a celestial dragon from One Piece, and he goes up there and he fires the bomb. He gets the credit for shooting the bomb. And so that makes this kid's phrase all the more heartbreaking. The kid's like, I want to be the one firing the gun. And the dad is like, it doesn't matter. You're in the same boat as the man that fires the gun. You are just as complicit and responsible as this one man. So then we have the women and the guy that is a very blatant Hitler analogy right there. And then the women are gossiping about the fact that his wife has like all these kids that are supposedly from other men, which is like a little aside that's thrown in there. But it's like the women's conversation about the man getting cheated on by his wife is like one of the only conversations in the whole story, in the whole short. And it's kind of funny because it's like the one moment of humanity throughout this entire little short. And it's just like a gossip about a man's infidelity, which is, again, adding to the corruption, right? So then we get to this one scene though, like, again, talking about being complicit in all of this. There is this scene where they're having these posters that talk about like the gas being poisoned. It says, we want a pollution-free environment, no more. And that got to me so much. This like little scene got to me so much because it's like, okay, you don't want poisonous gas. You want to use ammunition that isn't poisonous, but you're still using ammunition to kill people. We're just like, we want the safe ammunition. It's like, it's like, oh my God, no! Like that misses the entire point. And again, when you talk about modern day and like current environments, this came out in 1995. So I'm assuming like maybe the Gulf War or something was like tying off on this. But it's the idea of we're not solving the problem. We're just making like the symptoms more manageable. And it's like, but that didn't cure anything. It's just, it drove me nuts. But it kind of gives me, you know, when people are like, oh, I'm doing these steps to be proactive. And I'm like, but are you really changing things? Like, is making the gas from the ammunition less poisonous really solving the problem of the fact that you're at war? Just is so crazy. All the statements in this were great. And yeah, and the dad is surrounded by all of this all the time. And he looks kind of haunted throughout all of this because he seems well knowing what's going on. And the thing is, when they pan out, it almost looked like a sea, but then you realize it's just like shell craters and everything. You can't see the enemy. The enemy is not seen. It's just clouds of smoke and debris, and everything around them is all hollowed out like it's been destroyed. And it's like, you have to wonder as the audience, is there even an enemy out there? Is there even someone out there anymore? Who are they even fighting that you can't even see? Because then they have like the kids eating at the table and they're all eating the same bread and the same soup. And then you see this kid like with the headphones and the music that's like enjoying himself. And the guy comes and grabs him in the helmet and takes him away. Yeah. Like, no, there will be no art. There will only be no celebrating humanity. It's just literal indoctrination. And it scares me because I see this stuff happening in my own area, and it's really scary. It's really scary to see that it's like there's some of this still around, like in modern times. But yeah, so even as they're loading the bomb, the dad like falls from the platform and he like falls down, his mask comes off, and the one guy is like, you must have forgotten to check something. Like, I like how it was the dad's fault that something didn't work out right. It's always the fault of the worker and not the fault of the system or of the things in place. It's always the lowest person on the ladder. It's always their fault that something goes wrong. Not anything from the higher ups, but their fault. And I like the fact that the dad has the mask taken off. So it kind of like makes him he feels more human than all the other workers because his mask is off, and we kind of relate and see things through his eyes. And then they make them all stand there as the missile is fired so that they have to experience that. And then we go back to the turrets. And again, if you go back through, they pan down the city and we see that him and his family are at the bottom of it all. They're at the bottom of everything, right? There's kids jumping on the bed. There's people there. It says like, what does it say? I don't know what, no Conos? I don't know what that says. But then they go down to the very bottom and there's the family as he's watching the news. And the kid wants to be the leader. And the sad thing is the kid wants to be the leader and not like his dad. Like, ooh, it's very Cats in the Cradle vibes. So the guy on the news says, shoot and blast with all your strength for our nation. Did they say how much like had been fired? I feel like they did. I feel like they got to the point of saying like if the enemy had been attacked or not. Yeah. So it said here, today's war report from headquarters. From headquarters, which means that they could make it all up, right? Not that that ever happens in real life. Number of rounds fired. Cannon 3 was 3. Cannon 7, 3. Cannons 8 and 10, 1. So like their cannon was like one of the better ones. Oh, cannons 15 and 7. Yeah, 14. 4 each. Yeah. And then it said damage to the enemy's moving city. 5 major hits, 7 medium, 1 light, and 1 unconfirmed. So what was it? 3, that's 6, and then 1, and then 4 and 4 and 8. So 7 plus 8 is 15. And there was, so 15 shells fired, and then 12, 13, and then 14, or 14, I guess. And then 1 was unconfirmed. But there's like such a like clinicalness to it because they're like, well, here's how many fire shots each cannon did. But then they don't say which cannon shot hit what target in what way. So it doesn't even matter. Doesn't matter how many shots were fired. You're not even going to tell which shots hit which place. And then the fact that they say it's a moving city is just an analogy for the enemy always moves. You get done firing here, we'll go fire there. We get done raiding this place, we'll go raid that place. Like, it's just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And that's what the boy gets at, because he says, who are we fighting? And the dad's like, well, you'll find out when you're older. And what do you find out when you're older is that it doesn't matter. And then, yeah, so we have the little analogy of the boy, the drawing that he has of him going to fight. I like it's a blue cannon they're fighting against, so like the red versus blue and the machine gun. And it's the enemy, but there's just a group of them. And then showing the planes fly by, the cannons, and then him in front of the portrait at the end there. And when he turns his clock back, at the very end, he has that line. He says as he salutes the painting, when I grow up, I want to be the one who fires the gun, not just a cannon loader like my dad. And the fact that he wants to be the one that fires the gun and is in charge of the assault, but he doesn't even know what the assault is for or who is it after. Ooh, harrowing. Harrowing! Harrowing! I feel like Magnetic Rose of the three of them, Magnetic Rose would be the one I would watch again the most. I feel like if I wanted to go back and rewatch one of the 3 shorts of Memories, I would go watch Magnetic Rose 100 times over. I loved it. The animation, I could stare at it all day. I could pick apart each screenshot like a Renaissance painting. I would watch it over and over again. But if I wanted to show a short in class as a lesson, I would show Cannon Fodder. I would show it in class as a lesson and be like, here we go. Break this apart. What do you think? That would be like, oh, that'd be a philosophy class. I would show it in an ethics class. That'd be amazing. But yeah, you could just break it apart in so many ways. It's beyond fascinating. Oh, Sean, you gave this teacher an amazing commission. I loved picking this apart so much. This was so much fun. I hope you all enjoyed me rambling about these 3 shorts. This commission was fantastic. This month has been fantastic. What a great start of 2026. And we have 1 more week to go in February, and I'm super excited for next week. So I hope you all enjoyed. Comment down below your thoughts about these 3 shorts. Which short do you like the best? Which short is your favorite? Comment down below what you think about each of them, and I'm excited to hear your thoughts. So yes, in any case, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I'll be back very soon with more of Patreon commissions and reactions. Bye-bye.